The price of football is a massive talking point right now, and I thought it would be an interesting comparison to check out each championship club's season ticket prices for the upcoming season. In today's video, we're going to be ranking them all from cheapest to most expensive, and let me just say, there's a massive difference between both of them. Now, as of recording, I believe 23 of the 24 championship clubs have either released their season tickets already or have at least announced their prices. The only club yet to do so is Birmingham. So for the sake of today's video, it's just going to be 23 of the 24 clubs that we're going to go into. But if you do going to enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like. What we're going to go ahead and do is I've gathered the data for each championship club's cheapest adult season ticket. Without any further ado, let's jump in. Starting out at the bottom end, the cheapest adult season ticket you can get in the championship next season is actually at QPR at just £242. Now this one is a little bit misleading, I'm not gonna lie, because you can get an adult season ticket at QPR for that price if you are a returning customer, but that price only applies to one block of the stadium where there is restricted viewing, and if you were to sit anywhere else in the stadium it would be significantly more expensive. The next cheapest ticket we're talking is up at £433 for a returning adult customer, which works out a hell of a lot more expensive over a season. £18.80 that actually works out to. But going off the rules we've set for today's video, QPR do have the cheapest adult season tickets, but like I say, that's only for one small block of the stadium where there is restricted viewing by all accounts, but still the cheapest nonetheless. That works out to £10.52, which is ridiculously cheap, but you have got that restricted viewing. Next then we get to Cardiff, whose adult season tickets, the cheapest ones at least, are coming in at £249. I believe that's a price freeze from what they were offered at last season. Works out at £10.82 per match, which is great value for money, it has to be said. Obviously at Cardiff there is a massive stadium there, which isn't the easiest to fill for championship football, but for those sorts of prices you can't really go wrong. Some of the cheapest on offer in the league right now. And the same can be said for Huddersfield Town as well, whose adult season tickets are also coming in at the low price of £249 for the season. That works out once again at just £10.82 per championship match. So yeah, 23 matches Huddersfield fans will get to enjoy for that price, and it is brilliant value for money. Anything around that £10 mark, I think you're getting a great deal, especially for championship football at the end of the day. And after that we have my side, Preston North End, the only other championship club as of yet where you can get an adult season ticket for under £300. This one works out to just £12.17 over the course of an entire season. Once again, another price freeze from Preston if you do get on the early bird prices, and there were some worries that maybe we go ahead and put our prices up in years gone by. The season tickets, adult season tickets, were significantly more expensive than that at Deepdale, but I think North End realised that by making the tickets a lower price, we did get more fans in Deepdale last season. It does generate a much better atmosphere because of that for me. Next then, I'm coming in at the 300 mark, we have Hull City. Now Hull don't actually sell season tickets per se, they sell memberships which you pay for on a monthly scheme, but if you were to have a membership at Hull City over the course of an entire calendar year, that would work out at £300 per year, which per game still works out at pretty good value, and in at just over £13 per match. And for championship football, the way Hull seem to be going on the rise at the moment, I think that's decent value for money. It's then a bit of a gradual jump to the next cheapest season tickets available in the championship, and that's at Stoke City, where it will cost you £344, the cheapest adult season ticket that you can get in that stadium. I believe that's with an early bird discount as well. It works out to just under £15 per match for championship football, so slowly starting to creep up towards that £15 a game mark, you know, when we're at the start of the video in and around that £10 mark. But Stoke sort of middling ground as we get closer to those 400s. Next then we have West Brom, whose adult season tickets are coming in at £349. I believe that's a slight increase on last year, or I may have not included a discount that applied to the last season's tickets, but for those prices that I've got there, that works out at £15.17 per match. So once again, starting to get that little bit more expensive, but I still deem anything in the mid 300s to be relatively decent value for money, especially when we get into later in the video and see how much some other clubs are charging. After that you get to Coventry City, where you can get an adult season ticket for £350. Now I have put an asterisk next to that one because Coventry have all sorts of discounts and special ways you can buy tickets this season that it all works out a little bit complicated. So technically you can buy an adult season ticket in at Coventry in the family stand for just £250, but with that adult season ticket you need to purchase at least 2 junior tickets, which will cost a minimum of £50 each. So that works out at £350, which is the minimum you'd need to spend in that regard for an adult season ticket, but you could also get 2 kids for that price as well. Overall still works out a decent value for money, £15.22. I believe that's a slight increase on what Coventry were offering from last season, but obviously it's a club on the up in terms of their trajectory, so I suppose you could say justifiably bumped up the price a little bit from last time. After that we get to Ipswich Town, and interestingly enough the cheapest of the newly promoted clubs coming up from League One, where if you are to renew your season ticket, so already an existing season ticket holder, you can get it for the price of £353, which works out at £15.35 over the course of an entire season for each match week. Honestly, can't wait to have Ipswich back up in the Championship next season. It's crazy to think what a different trajectory that club's on right now compared to when they were last in the Championship, and what a good structured rebuild in League One can do for you, and having a new project to really get behind. Last time they were in the Championship, the last couple of seasons we had them at this level, they were averaging crowds of around 16 to 17,000, and in their previous season in League One they were averaging well over 26,000. So it just goes to show, you know, almost 10,000 more fans packed into that stadium week in, week out, and at those sorts of prices I think it's very reasonable for Championship football. Next up then we get to Southampton, who do have the cheapest season tickets of the clubs who are coming down from the Premier League. You can get one there as cheap as £359. Obviously prices will vary throughout the stadiums and sitting in different blocks, but based on those cheapest tickets that will cost you £15.60 per Championship match. Obviously Southampton did put their tickets on sale, I believe, while they still were a Premier League club, and obviously the per game prices actually work out cheaper in the Championship because you have those extra home games added on, as it is a bigger league than the Premier League, but working out at just over £15.50. Once again, starting to get a little bit more expensive, but still fairly reasonable and in the middle of the pack. After that we get to Plymouth Argyle, their cheapest adult season tickets coming in at £370, which works out at £16.09 per match, which compared to the rest of the Championship isn't too bad. It is worth saying that those prices only apply to one of their stands though, the Mayflower Grandstand Lower, where it works out at £370 anywhere else in the stadium, and that's going to set you back £475 for a season ticket, which works out at over £20 per match. So one of the more pricier ones in the Championship from that standpoint. So worth considering there that there is quite a variety between different sections of the stadium at Plymouth. In at Swansea, it will cost you £370 as well to get an adult season ticket. There was an offer where you could get a ticket for as cheap as £320, but it also means buying a child's ticket along with it, which would anyway take the price up. So yeah, cheapest adult season ticket in at Swansea, £370. I believe that Swansea were selling their season tickets as early as December, really early, if I remember rightly, that they set their renewals on sale. After that we have Bristol City, and in Ashton Gate it will cost you £375 for an adult season ticket. That works out to £16.30 per match in the Championship. I believe that's an ever so slight bump up from what they were costing last season in Ashton Gate, but still fairly similar around that price point. And now we are entering into the top 10, so the top 10 most expensive adult season tickets in the Championship ahead of next season, starting out with Leeds United. Now I had to do quite a bit of digging on Leeds as I couldn't find any public figures available for a bright breakdown of the different prices and different areas of the stadium, but from what I've led to believe it's around the 383 mark. It looked to me from what I've read like there was a 10% increase proposed for the Leeds fans and what they'd be paying, but that increase would only apply if they remained as a Premier League club, and it seems as if it's going to be a price freeze with them now coming down to the Championship. It works out to £16.65 per match in the Championship for Leeds. But if there are any Leeds fans out there, it'd be interesting to know if you paid around that figure or anything cheaper with any early bird discounts, if there were any such thing at Ellen Road this year. Next then we get to the 9th most expensive season tickets in the Championship for next season, and that is Leicester City, coming in at £385. I believe that is a price freeze, and Leicester were selling those tickets without the prior knowledge of, you know, where they were going to end up next season, whether it was going to be Premier League or the Championship, but they did give it a price freeze, I believe, regardless of what what league they were playing in. Slightly more expensive than Leeds, working out at that little bit more of £16.74 per championship match next season. After that, we then get to Sunderland, who are the last of the championship clubs who are offering in adult season ticket for next season at less than £400. It works out at £3.90 at £16.96 per game for next season. I believe that is a price freeze from what the tickets were being sold at last season as well. And obviously we all know the massive crowds that Sunderland get in at the Stadium of Light, especially for championship football. Into the top 7 we go, and every ticket from this point onwards is £400 plus. So we are starting to get into the more expensive and premium championship season tickets heading into next season, especially considering these are the cheapest on offer from these clubs. So there will be more expensive options available at different points of the stadium. Coming in 7th place we have Watford, where an adult season ticket will cost you a minimum of £402. That works out at £17.48 per match in the championship next season. You could probably argue that Watford fans didn't get a great value for money on what they were paying last season, considering the inconsistencies in their year, and they'll be hoping that this time around it'll be a bit more of a consistent ride where they do push up the league. After that we then get to Rotherham, who have had one of the biggest price increases from last season, where a lot of championship clubs have frozen their prices. Rotherham have increased by quite a considerable amount, now coming in at £405 for the cheapest adult season ticket in at Rotherham. I believe that's on a renewal price as well. It works out to £17.61 per championship match. Last season you could have got a season ticket there for as cheap as £355, so would be interested to hear some Rotherham fans' thoughts on the price increase, whether you're happy to play that if it means investing a little bit more in the squad, or whether you think that's gone over and tipped the balance to a bit too expensive. And as the 5th most expensive season tickets next season, we are heading to the Den for Millwall, where an adult season ticket will cost you a minimum of £407. I believe that's a slight increase on what they were priced at last season, working out at £17.70 per championship match. You always get that bit of tax added on because Millwall, a London club, and being more expensive in that region of the country. Will be interesting to see at the start of the season how all of the season ticket sales fare in comparison to how much a ticket has actually cost. With the 4th most expensive season tickets in the Championship next season, we have Blackburn, and regularly throughout the years where I've made this video, Blackburn always seem to rank in and around the top 5, and especially when you compare Blackburn's prices to the fellow clubs in Lancashire, the Prestons, Bolton, Wigans, Blackpools, Burnleys, Blackburn always come out on top of all that. When you also consider that Blackburn had the emptiest stadium in the Championship last season based on their average attendance and how much Ewood Park actually holds, it's always been a bit of a mystery to me why they've never gone ahead and dropped those prices to try and get a few more fans in the ground, generate a bit of a better atmosphere, and get those, you know, that next generation of fans really invested and interested in the club, because it is a club who has been on a general upwards trajectory in terms of league finishes each year, but it just feels like off the pitch they still get this sort of thing wrong. Works out at £18.26 per match, which, like I said, is the 4th most expensive in the Championship, and in an area where season tickets at other clubs are a hell of a lot cheaper. Coming in with the 3rd most expensive season tickets for next season, we are heading to the Riverside and for Middlesbrough. And once again, regularly making these videos for Championship clubs, Middlesbrough always rank in and around the top of this, with some of the most expensive season tickets in the Championship, and the cheapest you can get working out at £480, which is over £20 per match for a season ticket, where you expect to get that little bit of a discount on what you're paying for a match day. It is expensive. Fair play to the Borough fans for how many tickets they have actually shifted. I remember seeing at the end of March a tweet where they'd sold over 19,000 tickets in their early bird process. I mean, no doubt that they're going to get that stadium rocking next season, but for the cost of it, it is crazy when you think that other Championship clubs are paying £200 less for a ticket next season. And with the 2nd most expensive season tickets in the Championship next season, we have Sheffield Wednesday. They're back in the Championship now, and something I always associated with Sheffield Wednesday when they were previously in the Championship was just how expensive their tickets were, especially away tickets, which regularly ranked as the most expensive in the league. Now, an adult season ticket, the cheapest one you can get at Wednesday, will cost you £510, and that's the cheapest one available in the stadium. It works out at £22.17 per game, and it is extortionate stuff, especially when you consider Wednesday was selling those tickets while they were still in League One, and so had they not gone up through the playoffs, Wednesday fans would have been paying that premium price for League One football again, which is crazy to me. And that's only if you're sitting in the Cop for next season, because if you're sitting in the South Stand, the season ticket there for an adult will cost you £720, which works out to £31.30 per match for a season ticket, which is just ludicrous stuff. But retaining their crown for a second season in a row, we have Norwich City, who are coming in with the most expensive adult season tickets heading into next season, where the cheapest at Carrow Road will cost you £534, working out to £23.22 for Championship football, and that's the price you'll pay for a season ticket. Now, Norwich fans are brilliant, regularly selling out Carrow Road, and they'll shift a bunch of season tickets, as I'm already sure they have for this season. But when we talk about Norwich fans wanting more from their side, when you pay a premium price for the football and you are by far and away the most expensive season tickets in the Championship, I think you expect your side to be competing in and around the top end, and that's why last season in the Championship was so disappointing for them, because they fell below so many expectations. So yeah, there's no skirting around that. It is extortionate stuff for Championship football. But fair play to the Norwich fans, who I'm sure will be selling out Carrow Road next season regardless. But guys, there we have it, an interesting breakdown I thought of each Championship club and how much each sets of fans will be paying for their season tickets next season. Of course, there is a massive variety from the cheapest season ticket available to the average season ticket available, and if you'd like to see a different breakdown of those sorts of figures, do let me know down below. But an interesting take nonetheless. If you did go on to enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like and do get involved in the comments down below, and I'll see you all in the next one.